So you just want that Nightmare 4 Queenslayer or maybe even the Jeff title, right? Well, I'm going to go ahead and make things as simple as possible. No clickbait, nothing like that. First thing you want to do, Buoyant Splash. I'll explain later. And then as usual, all red trees. The bubble skill and everything else doesn't really matter. I'm not going to drag this video on. Short and sweet because I'm pretty sure most of you just want to be done with it and see something like this, right? So for starters, you basically need the two basic cards to get this build going. Gnashing Waters and Jetstream Cannon. If anything, go for, I believe there's only one for Gnashing Waters, but Jetstream Cannon, get it as close to the highest as you can. On top of that, make sure to get Full Moon. At least 3 of them before round 5 because then that's going to make it easier to build. And I know people are going to be like, after this, what next? Remember, Jeff cannot crit, and as controversial as this is going to sound coming from me, the only cards you need to be getting aside from Gnashing Waters and Jetstream Cannon is Zeus Thunder. Preferably the 10 one because, again, as weird as the wording is, that's still extra damage, and on top of that, 2 extra enemies get the damage. Jeff's already dealing piercing damage, so it really pretty much just connects to a stream of water just attacking multiple enemies. If by the first round, it doesn't matter for the Sentinels, they're just built to be tanky. But if by the first round you pick your cards and you're not doing enough damage, just restart the run. Unless you're playing with friends, then in that case, just, I don't know, hope for the best until the next round ends and you can pick some cards. But from here, what you're mainly doing is just building up your thing, Jetstream Cannon and all that. But here's the thing, though, and this is the part that a lot of people are always excluding: the purple cards, mainly Power Surge. Only get the 16 and 35%. Trust me on this one. As much as it sounds like a low percentage, I want you to think of whenever you buy Gnashing Waters or Jetstream Cannon, think of it like you're only adding on to the damage. Meanwhile, if you buy a Power Surge 16% or 35%, don't buy any lower, you're not going to see much of a difference. But if you buy the 16% or the 35%, treat those cards like you're multiplying your damage overall, and try to buy them as much as you can, as it can save you the fact that you could potentially be doing just about as much damage as buying 5 Jetstream Cannons compared to buying 2 Jetstream Cannons and maybe 1 or 2 Power Surges at 35%. They do stack up, and it saves you the trouble of, if you can't find those cards but you happen to see a Power Surge of 16% or 35%, it compensates until you can actually find those cards. On top of this, make sure to be building up your defense and health. I believe by round 5, your health should be as close to 4,000 as possible. By 10, should be about 5,000. By 15, 7,000 or 8,000. And by round 20 with 2 Wandas, you should have about 10,000 or close to it. If not, make sure to have high damaging Vampiric, that Lifesteal card. And anything that basically damage reductions. Simple as that. Like, a lot of people complicate it, saying Jeff is really difficult to play with, but trust me, when things are looking in your favor and you get the card building, you'll soon be pretty much playing like this. And a little fun tip, because I've seen so many people basically saying, I beat Jeff with this build and everything, and I've never once seen them using Buoyant Splash or the bubble. Buoyant Splash, if you have it, basically treats it like you're an extra player just kind of circling fire. Good for if you're going to be turning your back in a specific direction that enemies are going to be spawning from. You can just basically, have that deal with them while you're dealing with, say, bosses like Namor or Wanda. Another thing, too, is the bubble itself. Not only does it give you a speed boost if it pops when you're near it, but it also leaves behind it does like a little AoE explosion and leaves behind a little fire that does a lot of damage. Really good if you just want to melt the Sentinels. Same with popping Wanda's bubble. Stack like 2 of those and then pop them, and while you're shooting at her, the little fire and the pop will basically deal damage. Same if you hit her with a Buoyant Splash. And that's pretty much it. Just pretty much try to get as high damaging as possible. again, it's with Jeff, it's a little difficult because you're kind of balancing keeping yourself alive while at the same time having to be a high damaging target. So it's a matter of luck, but just follow those simple tips and you'll easily get Nightmare or the Queenslayer title. If you're going for the Jeff one, I would say stock up on lives, because there are moments where everything can go right, but this game kind of likes to mess with you for doing a little too well, as this was one of my most perfect runs that I'm pretty sure I probably would have done a good 28-minute record. Not world record, it's apparently 20 minutes, which really lucky person with whatever their build was. But I was basically close, and guess how my run ended. But yeah, hopefully these tips help. Take it from someone who is currently in the 389th spot. By tomorrow, I'm probably out of it. So, I can always do a quick run and, beat my time. But that's pretty much it. Just to recap, Gnashing Waters, Jetstream Cannon. If you're running solo, I would recommend, doing the Khonshu gamble thing. And quick tip, if you're on PC, you hit space. If you're on Xbox, you hit B. If you're on PlayStation, you hit circle. Cancels the spinning animation, does not change the outcome. It just skips the animation, so you don't have to give yourself a headache just basically finishing for that thing to spin just to end up with that healing card that just throws little health packets around. If that happens and you still don't have as close to 120 as possible, then again, restart. Unless you're playing with your friends or in a group, then hope for the best and only do it if you feel like you haven't been getting enough potential in your power output. Well, hopefully this video helped you out, and if you did, leave a like, follow, subscribe, and whatnot. You can also follow my Twitch. And yeah, till next time, see you later, everyone.